What if I told you that stability is the key to unlocking your mobility, and it all starts with your brain?
For years, we've been told that stretching and increasing flexibility are the keys to better mobility. But here's the catch. Without stability, your brain might actually be holding you back. It senses instability, like weak core muscles or shaky joints, and limits your movement to protect you from injury. Let me tell you about a client of mine, Mark. He's been an avid runner for most of his life. But when I met him, he hadn't run in over 2 years due to excruciating pain in his right foot. Despite working with physical therapists who focused on stretching and mobility exercises for his calf and lower leg, nothing was working. When I met him, we did a simple balance test, which is just standing on one leg, and quickly discovered that Mark lacked stability in his right ankle and hip. His body wasn't stable, so his brain was holding him back, limiting his movement to prevent injury. But these compensations were causing all of his pain. We shifted our focus away from stretching and mobility exercises. We actually did zero and concentrated only on building stability through fundamental lower body movements like squats, hinges, and lunges, with an emphasis on stability variation. Within a month, Mark was pain-free and back to running. Here's the science of why stability is the key to unlocking your mobility. Your brain is constantly monitoring your body's balance and stability, especially in your core. If it detects instability, it restricts joint movement to prevent injury. But when you improve your stability, you convince your brain to allow more mobility. Your core isn't just your abs. It's a network of muscles stabilizing your spine and pelvis. When it's weak, your body struggles to control your limbs, and your brain limits movement to prevent injury. Research shows that athletes with stable cores improve balance, coordination, and even running speed by 5 to 8%. Core muscles activate up to 80% during squats or sprints to protect the spine. So without this activation, the brain compensates by tightening joints, limiting mobility and power. But this isn't just for athletes. Anyone who improves their core stability will experience smoother, more dynamic movement. Biomechanics show us that when one joint is unstable, nearby joints bear the extra load. For example, instability in your ankle can increase stress on your knee by 20 to 30%, leading to compensations that limit mobility. Just like a suspension bridge, tension in one joint affects the entire structure. Studies on runners with inward foot pronation show that it increases hip adduction by 25%, which contributes to knee pain and limits lower body mobility. Over time, these compensations can lead to chronic pain or reduced performance. In one study, 70% of athletes with recurring knee injuries were found to have undiagnosed instability in the hip or ankle. Stability is your body's first line of defense against injury. When stabilizing muscles are weak, improper movement patterns put extra stress on your joints, increasing injury risk. Studies show that athletes with poor core stability are 47% more likely to suffer lower body injuries like ACL tears. But stability training significantly reduces injury risk. For instance, stability exercises have been shown to reduce recurrent ankle sprains by 35%, and runners who incorporated stability work saw a 33% reduction in overuse injuries like Achilles tendonitis. Think of stability as your body's shock absorber. Stable joints handle more load without breaking down, preventing overuse injuries like tendonitis or shin splints. Mobility and stability work together. It's not just about stretching farther. Controlled functional movement requires a stable foundation. Research shows that athletes with stronger cores had a 10% greater range of motion in their hips and shoulders. Building stability, especially in the core, hips, and ankles, allows the brain to release the brakes, improving mobility by 18% compared to just 7% for those just doing static stretching. Your brain is the ultimate gatekeeper for mobility. It's constantly receiving feedback from your stabilizing muscles, especially in your core, hips, and ankles. If it senses instability, it limits movement to prevent injury. Studies show that proprioception, which is the brain's ability to sense your body's position, is closely tied to stability. When it perceives weakness, it reduces flexibility and mobility to protect your joints. But as you build stability, your brain unlocks movement, allowing greater mobility. In a study on older adults, stability exercises improved balance and mobility by 20% compared to minimal improvement from flexibility work alone. Elite athletes also saw a 15% increase in range of motion after focusing on stability as their brains allowed more dynamic movement. So, are you ready to unlock your full mobility? The key is to focus on stability first. Start incorporating stability exercises into your routine. Whether it's core, strengthening balance work, or targeted drills for your ankles and hips, your brain needs to feel confident that your body is stable. And once it does, you'll notice dramatic improvements in how you move. If you want to know exactly where to start, you can check out some of our videos where we'll guide you through some of my favorite stability exercises that can help you unlock your full range of motion.
Don't forget to subscribe for more insights on building stability and improving mobility. If you struggled with limited mobility, drop a comment in below. Let's start a conversation on how stability training has helped or what challenges you're still facing.